This is Sidney Omarr, and this is about you, Scorpio, born from October 23rd to November 21st. You were born under an intriguing, perhaps one of the most controversial of the zodiacal signs. Scorpio is the natural 8th sign, associated with the planet Pluto, is of the water element, is a fixed sign, has much to do with secrets, sex, the hidden parts of the body, and with subjects many consider occult or forbidden. Listen, Scorpio, your sign signifies power, depth. It is the symbol of the detective, one who probes deep, who burrows until the right chord is struck, who digs and digs until what is sought is finally discovered. I have written much about your sign, especially in 2 of my books, My World of Astrology and Astrology, Its Role in Your Life. You are dynamic, at times overbearing. Many cannot tolerate you, while others cannot do without you. Scorpio is sex and procreation. It is the eagle flying high, or the scorpion low on the ground. And much like the symbol of your sign, you are either high or low, principled or irresponsible. You are joyous or miserable, tantalizing or crude. You are not always easy to understand because you can't always fathom yourself. You can be grasping or giving, passionate or cold. I have often said in my talks to various groups and to astrologers themselves that astrologers, as a group, that if they have any prejudice analogous to religious prejudice, it is, unfortunately, often directed against your sign, Scorpio. There have been so many weird things written about you that by this time you could be excused for having either an inferiority or a superiority complex. The truth is that you are not inferior, nor are you necessarily superior. You are powerful, yet weak. You are strong, yet clinging. What you desire most is understanding. At times you shout at loved ones, this in an effort to shake them up, to make them come alive. You want to bring out the best in those close to you, but you don't always choose the most diplomatic methods. Scorpio, your sign is a challenge. It represents the turmoil within us all. It represents the ambition contained in all of us. You are, in a way, all of us, because all of us can see some of our qualities, good and bad, reflected in you. You are capable, efficient, but along with these characteristics, you also are emotional. Your likes and dislikes tend to run to the extreme. There is little halfway about you. You are loyal, possessive, grasping. Sometimes you grasp at straws in a desperate need to love and to be loved. Scorpio is passionate, as we say. Yet Scorpio desires tenderness, a caress, a touch, a smile, a gesture of understanding. One of your outstanding characteristics is a willingness to tear down in order to rebuild. You see, Scorpio, you're not awed by tradition. If tradition hampers progress, you will bypass it, or as we say, tear it down in order to get on with the business at hand. You respect accomplishment, not stories about past glories. Now, Scorpio, this may be a workable theory where buildings, projects, special activities are concerned, but it is a different story where persons are involved, where people enter the picture. You have an inward feeling that everything will turn out all right, that the individuals involved will understand. Well, when carried to extremes, you offend, you hurt, you push others away from you, and all the time you are, inwardly at least, crying out for understanding. Understand me. Know what I am doing and why I am doing it. That's what you say. Yet one fine morning you could wake up cold and alone because the right person, the special person, did not understand. So, Scorpio, it is obvious that you have to bend, to give a little, to make concessions, even sacrifices. Otherwise, not all of the progress, not all of the gain will mean a thing. Listen, Scorpio, you play for high stakes, for inheritance, for eventual success, for greater love, for recognition on your terms. But, Scorpio, the question is this: just what are your terms? That's the central point of the theme, the crux of the matter, your terms. You see, this requires maturity, a tremendous degree of self-understanding, self-knowledge. And this leads us to yet another question. Are you capable of such philosophical judgment, such maturity and wisdom? And if the answer is yes, then fine, all is well, and we can follow your lead toward a goal of progress and enlightenment, toward material gain and comfort. But Scorpio, if the answer is negative, if you are not wise, mature, understanding, then there are problems, and the problems are of your own creation. You ask for simplicity and then create complications. You cry out for love and then shove it away until it can meet your terms. You decry selfishness on the part of others and then practice the opposite of what you preach. You are, you see, a virile individual, an individual in the extreme sense of the word. You are one of a kind. You are Scorpio and Pluto. You represent upheaval, life as opposed to the tranquility of a peaceful sleep. That's why so many of us, including astrologers, are confused by your sign, by you. You are, if nothing else, forceful and resourceful. You are energetic, capable of rising to great heights and of carrying others with you. But the others may have been perfectly contented to remain where they were, not wanting to rise. Now, Scorpio, this is something you find difficult to comprehend. As a result, you berate, you antagonize. Your voice becomes shrill as you insist that your wisdom, your terms are the best, if only people, especially loved ones, would take heed, would listen and absorb. I have perhaps been a little harsh in emphasizing some of your negative characteristics and stressing some of the abrasive elements of your makeup. But Scorpio, I do this because in etching a portrait of you that you will comprehend, I must do so with a degree of acid rather than sugar and water, which means you can take it as well as give it. You would rather see the lines clearly than through a dim glass or through a kind of sugary process which quickly melts. And perhaps all of us can envy you this striving for the truth at any cost. Listen, Scorpio, you are vital, ambitious, and you would be the first to admit that you do appreciate power. You appreciate for yourself, for others. You are a fierce competitor, and when the competition is over, you are sincerely puzzled if others are hurt or feel mistreated. You cringe at weakness, but you're the first to complain if others are made to suffer. You feel, in a sense, that all is well if you throw the punches. Somehow you rationalize your own strength, your power, your influence. Your blows can be understood. That's what you feel. Others will know that the punches are thrown for a good reason. That's what you tell yourself. But when others do the punching, you are startled. You cry for justice. You will not tolerate a bully. You will not stand for standing by while anyone is being bullied. But at times, the very things you object to are the very things you do. In a sense, you are the surgeon, but also the butcher. You are the power behind the throne, and you are also the revolutionary, the one who topples the kingdom. You can be so many things, Scorpio, but one thing you cannot be, and that is ignored. You cannot be ignored. Some may disagree with you, but very few can ignore or forget you. You make a mark. You leave an indelible impression. You are magnetic. You draw persons, situations. You are at times, many times, a dilemma to yourself. You are kind to your enemies and harsh to your friends. You can be aroused to great anger, and yet also to sensitivity, to kindness. Your sign is associated with the reproductive organs, the glands of the pelvis. When you decide upon something, you fix your view and stay on course no matter what the consequences. Now, to help all of us understand your sign to a greater degree, and to aid you toward more self-understanding, I am going to present some secret or special hints about your sign. First, here are some hints for men about women born under Scorpio. These women have an air of mystery, are often considered psychic. It is difficult to know them completely, for they change as circumstances demand. A man involved with a Scorpio woman may not always have an easy time, but he'll know he's alive. Listen, men, don't seek a relationship with a Scorpio woman unless you are strong, willing to change your opinions, able to adjust, and unless you have a basic respect for the opposite sex. The Scorpio woman is dynamic, explosive. She can lose her temper one minute and resemble a perfect angel the next moment. You are stepping on a merry-go-round when you begin courting a Scorpio woman. The pace may be dizzying, but you asked for it, and you have no right to complain. This woman, the Scorpio woman, can be fiercely loyal. She demands a great deal, but she also has much to give. She knows her way around when it comes to the practical aspects of living. This may puzzle you, for one day she can discuss finances like an expert, while the next day she is willing to follow a whim, a hunch. Obviously, she's not exactly easy to understand. Now listen, men. I would say it's best to close your eyes and enjoy the changes she is bound to make in your life. If you are the nervous or overly sensitive type, please do yourself a favor and seek another woman. Now let's present the women with some secret or special hints about men born under Scorpio. Don't expect this man to say one thing and mean something else. He has a special gift for seeing through pretense, of knowing what others are really thinking, of knowing what they are made of despite their statements or actions. He can perceive, delineate, render shrewd analyses of numerous persons, situations, subjects. The Scorpio man is a tough one to fool. Scorpio men are physical, yet emotional. They require love in its poetic sense, yet can be animal-like. The Scorpio man can be brutal, but this does not necessarily stem from cruelty. Rather, it is brutality in a basic sense, brutal frankness, brutal honesty. You see, nothing halfway. Ladies, let me give you one special hint. Don't try to reform this man. He knows what he wants, and he usually has sound reasons for acting the way he does. If you want to lose him, start correcting his manners, his speech. If you want to keep him, try to understand and sympathize. The Scorpio man is forceful, direct, independent, often aggressive. He is a man of action. If you want to impress him, you'll have to do more than talk or make promises. He wants results, and often he demands that you prove your intentions. Now listen to this. The Scorpio man can be jealous, very much so. He doesn't forget easily, and bear this in mind before you try insulting or ridiculing him. He works hard and plays hard, and at times his appetites appear insatiable. If you really want him, you may have to meet and pass numerous tests. Once the examinations are over, however, you may feel the trouble was more than worthwhile. Well, there you have it. Special astrological hints for men about Scorpio women and for women about Scorpio men. Many well-known persons were born under Scorpio, including Dr. Jonas Salk, Burt Lancaster, Katharine Hepburn, Johnny Carson, and Alice Faye. Incidentally, Scorpio Johnny Carson told me his hobby is astronomy, but that he is also intrigued with astrology. Scorpio persons tend to be involved with the occult, with the hidden, with secrets, with subjects which are considered underground, such as magic, palmistry, numerology, astrology. Johnny Carson, for example, once was a magician, and he's a pretty good example of the positive Scorpio, one who is fixed, determined to achieve success, no matter how many setbacks may occur in the process. As a Scorpio, you tend to become involved with secrets, but you never hide the fact that you're in a fight when you believe you are fighting for what is right. And listen, other people seem willing to trust you with secrets, with money. You are intrigued by law and often are attracted to specializing in legacies, wills, and obtaining the rights for one who lacks financial resources. You are forceful, direct, independent, aggressive. Your touch is magnetic, gentle, but it is also physical and sexy. You take delight in calling the shots, forming policy, tightening or loosening the purse strings. The curtain goes up or down at your whim, or so you would desire. You have an unusual romantic nature. Your fifth solar house related to romance is Pisces, which is associated with Neptune. Thus you build on illusion. You build illusions about the basics of life. At times you confuse illusion with fact. You mistake wishful thinking for actualities. At times, Scorpio, you seek one thing, one set of standards in others, but another special set for yourself. You tend to give yourself credit for understanding, for being able to handle certain situations, but then you turn around and lack faith in others. This arouses envy and causes some to doubt your sincerity. Scorpio women have an abundance of extrasensory perception. They feel when something of importance is about to occur. Scorpio men are dynamic, aware of their rights and abilities, and seem to become involved in lawsuits and difficulties over financial matters. You are virile, intense, able to impress your will on others. You are sexual, but can also be oddly cool, aloof, using sex as a weapon. Sometimes, however, the weapon is turned against yourself. You punish yourself for enjoying, berate yourself for not obtaining full satisfaction. The grass is greener, the horizons are brighter somewhere else. You are, as we say, difficult to comprehend. There are so many sides to your nature. You are impressionable, but want to make an impression. You are receptive, but want to do the giving, the stating, the dictating, the forming, the completing of policies. You fight to protect what you own, but when the battle is over, when you have won, you might turn around and give up what you fought so fiercely to protect in the first place. You are, if nothing else, mysterious, filled with contradictions. You are ingenious, creative, capable of teaching great lessons. You are a true friend and a dangerous enemy. You uncover mysteries, secrets. You gain by inheritance. You save, accumulate. You prod and push and bring out qualities we never knew we possessed, or that you were capable of understanding. When we think we know all there is to know about you, you show us yet another side, not only of yourself, but another side of ourselves. You are, as we say, not afraid of a fight, although you never pretend to be a good loser. You are not afraid of ghosts, but you believe in them. You inspire, delight, tantalize, frustrate, anger, give joy, make life taste like garlic and salt and pepper and onions. You believe in rising, not falling. You believe in succeeding, not failing. You can cut through to the heart of the matter. You can scrape and injure, but you can also heal and inspire. You are, when all is said and done, basically a mystery, and we all love a mystery, even if it scares us half to death. Numbers associated with your sign are 2, 4, and 6. Your color is crimson. Your gems are topaz and malachite, and your metal is steel. This is Sidney Omarr, and this is about you, Scorpio, born from October 23rd to November 21st, and how you relate to the other zodiacal signs. You are physically attracted to Pisces. Your sign is considered favorably aspected to Pisces, to Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer. In relation to another Scorpio, you are either strongly attracted or repelled. Your sign has problems with Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. Scorpio is considered neutral in relation to Libra, Sagittarius, Aries, and Gemini. Aries persons could irritate you, and strangely enough, it's because you sympathize with their goals, their desires for greater independence. And in sympathizing, you feel you should do something, and no matter what you do, you tend to feel it is not enough, and this is what causes you to feel guilty, and the guilt feeling is followed by irritation. Listen, Scorpio, Aries individuals touch that part of your solar horoscope associated with work, health, ability to harmonize with relatives, co-workers. Aries affects your job, employment, ability to rise above your environment. With Aries, you may be forced to keep your nose to the grindstone. It is a case of Aries fire and your water element. The two don't mix. But depending upon the individual Aries, you could mix if you are determined to get the job done. It's not an easy relationship, but Scorpio, it is sometimes a very necessary one. With Taurus, there is attraction, but much in the manner that opposites attract each other. You can be physical with Taurus, but obtaining mental harmony could represent a problem. Taurus stimulates that area of your chart having to do with the public, partnerships, contacts, advertising. Taurus individuals intrigue you because they usually represent an equal match. You can't bully Taurus. And the same applies on the reverse side. So when Scorpio and Taurus get together, there is usually a pushing, shoving match. When that is over, the two signs begin to learn from each other, and very often they marry. Taurus affects that area of the Scorpio chart having to do with permanent ties, including marriage. With Taurus, you tend to get involved in new enterprises. Now listen, Scorpio, Taurus can be good for you if you want to start, to begin, to pioneer, to see the world through new eyes. Taurus is not good if you are satisfied with the status quo. You should, of course, welcome change, should encourage adventure. Taurus persons help you to do just that because Taurus stimulates you into action. There is challenge, opposition. There are blocks and hurdles connected with this relationship. But, Scorpio, you can handle this if determined to do so. Being aware of what is in store, I would say, go to it. What I would caution against is taking Taurus for granted. If you do that, then, Scorpio, you are likely to be in for a rude awakening. With Gemini, you are simultaneously puzzled and intrigued. And Gemini, like Sagittarius, can be good for you where money matters are concerned. With Gemini, you tend to want to complete, to finish, to get to the bottom of things. Gemini encourages you to go to the sources. With Gemini, you bypass details. On the positive side, this overcomes delays. On the negative side, you tend to become careless. Now, Scorpio, you have a love of mystery, as we say, of the occult, the hidden. Well, Gemini pushes the button of this desire. You investigate, you read, write, explore, you dig deep and unearth hidden factors. In this sense, Gemini is exciting for you. Gemini encourages you to spread your influence, to enlarge intellectual horizons. One thing is certain, you won't be sitting still with Gemini. You will very likely be on the move. What is hidden within yourself, your secret desires, come out into the open in an association with Gemini. You learn to face yourself. You may not always like what you see. You may become resentful of Gemini, but the relationship is meaningful. You learn, observe, project. As you can discern, this is not something to be taken lightly. When you become involved with Gemini, you go all the way. You may become tired, fatigued, but never bored. Gemini keeps you going. And if you would rather settle down with a known factor than to move toward the unknown, then Gemini is not for you. But if you want to satisfy your love of mystery, you've found the right person in Gemini. With Cancer, your desire for added knowledge is stimulated. The two signs, Cancer and Scorpio, are trined or well aspected. And in association with Cancer, you plan ahead. You think of home, of domestic situations, of security. But almost at the same time, your thoughts are drawn to journeys of the long variety. You want to enhance your sphere of activity. Cancer may not be the most practical association for you, but it could very well be the most stimulating. Listen, Scorpio, there can be harmony in this relationship. There is a natural affinity between Scorpio and Cancer. But Cancer does touch that part of your solar horoscope related to dreams rather than action, to plans rather than finalized contracts. This being the case, Cancer is good for you where the future is concerned, and not always so good as far as the current picture, the present situation, enters into consideration. If you are serious, if you are concerned about security, then Cancer is ideal. Your Pluto and the Cancer moon make up an intriguing combination. It tells the story of a strong desire for harmony and a need for adjustment. But Cancer and Scorpio have their own ideas for how to accomplish a goal, a task, or a project. So it isn't exactly easy for these two signs to work together. That is, unless it is decided beforehand just who is to be the leader, the boss, the executive, the planner, the chief. But if you can arrive at this decision, there is no reason why this relationship should not be a fruitful one. So, Scorpio, You take it from there. In connection with Leo, there could be some resentment. Leo, to you, represents challenge, ambition. At times you feel Leo gets the breaks that should have represented opportunities for you. But on the positive side, Leo is good for you in career matters, helps define your ambitions, aspirations, and aids your standing in the community. With Leo, there is a dynamic force set in motion. You push, command, challenge, you fight your way to the top. The two signs are not favorably aspected, and at times it is like trying to mix fire and water. Nevertheless, the challenge is there, and so too is a kind of attraction. To Leo, you represent long-range goals. To you, Leo symbolizes an immediate chance for advancement. When you get together with Leo, there is a feeling of restriction because you both sense the other is a kind of parent, a symbol of authority. Thus, it is not easy for you to feel loose and easy with Leo. There is a tendency toward formality, toward trying to break the ice. The good intentions could be there and could be there in abundance. It is not a question of animosity. It is rather a question of how best to open avenues of expression. A question also of how to strike a chord of mutual response. The key to getting along with Leo is to praise, flatter, without becoming, in any shape or form, subservient. If this you do, the ice will have been broken, the opening strand of a thread of friendship will have been woven. Leo can help you with your career, just as you can make money for Leo and help assure the Leo security. But the initial step may have to be up to you, Scorpio, so know this and act accordingly. Virgo helps teach you the value of friendship. With Virgo, you are willing to explore new areas, to make sacrifices, to take positive steps toward fulfillment of hopes and wishes. With Virgo, you could set up a fine counseling service, for example, because Virgo helps you to see the potential in others. So you could be, with Virgo's help, a personnel director, a teacher, a nurse, a humanitarian. Now, if you're a Scorpio doctor by any chance, Virgo is particularly good for you. And in general, the two signs, Virgo and Scorpio, are well aspected, and the relationship is generally harmonious. Listen, Scorpio, Virgo is also good for you because you learn the lesson of humility. You realize that friends put up with a great deal for no other reason than because they see you in the best possible light, overlooking your faults. Virgo helps you to understand this, to appreciate loyal friends rather than to merely take them for granted. With Virgo, you could excel in legal matters. You could get justice. You could win, even if the odds were against you. Now, please try to understand that the horoscope is more than just merely Virgo or Scorpio. These are what we call sun signs. The complete horoscope is based on time and place of birth, as well as month, day, and year. So what we are talking about here are the classical Virgo, the typical Scorpio, and of course there are variations. But in general, I would encourage a Virgo-Scorpio relationship. In connection with Libra, there could be revelation, discovery, a chance to leave behind secret fears and enter the waters of adventure. Libra individuals fascinate you because you feel they have secrets which, if revealed, would enable you to overcome any and all obstacles. You can chop down barriers with Libra. You could be successful in a recording venture, a television production, or a motion picture endeavor with Libra. You see, Scorpio, Libra touches that part of your chart connected with behind-the-scenes activity, with illusion, with beauty. On the negative side, there is fear, deception, brooding, and worry. Libra puzzles you. While you are aggressive, demanding direct action, Libra seeks justice and understanding. Thus, you could become impatient with Libra. But I believe every Libra should have a bit of Scorpio, and you, Scorpio, should have some Libra in your life. You are especially successful with Libra in connection with hospitals, institutions, groups, secret and semi-secret organizations. These appeal to you because you have an air of mystery and because you are attracted to the hidden and the occult, which we have told you about previously. With Libra, you could form your own special group. Libra provides the balance, while you supply the initiative. This combination could be fine if you are willing to break new ground and to obtain a fresh point of view. In collaboration with Sagittarius, your ambition is fired. You devise ways of adding to possessions. You have to be wary lest you reach too far and fall because of lack of balance. Generally, Sagittarius is good for you where money is concerned. But on the negative side, Sagittarius could encourage extravagance. There is an element of deception here, of clandestine meetings, affairs, arrangements. The key is to know the facts, to see persons and situations as they actually exist. Otherwise, Scorpio, you could end up chasing rainbows. Sagittarius touches that part of your chart associated with possessions, money, the ability to collect and to discriminate between real value and the counterfeit. Sagittarius can teach you some lessons, but Scorpio, be sure they are not too expensive. You can have your head in the clouds, but keep both feet on the ground, which means permit your imagination to soar, but for practical purposes. Otherwise, Sagittarius will have you dreaming with no solid results. It will be up to you to protect yourself at all times. Now, this is not to say that Sagittarius is out to deceive you, but self-deception in this relationship is very possible, which in turn means that you have a tendency to romanticize this association. I do not say that a meaningful relationship cannot develop, but also there is a tendency to imagine what is not actually present. Now know this and try to be shrewd. Be careful. Watch the budget, both material and emotional. And by this I mean don't spend yourself. Don't waste yourself. If you are careful, Sagittarius will respect you. Otherwise, Scorpio, the lessons you learn could indeed be costly ones. Capricorn stimulates you mentally, challenges you, goads you, makes you want to assert yourself. Scorpio and Capricorn are favorably aspected, and with Capricorn you could travel, take notes, create jobs for others and for yourself. Capricorn helps you write, helps you laugh, helps you see the brighter side. Now listen, Scorpio, there seems here in this relationship to be a connection with neighbors, relatives, with your manner of self-expression. To perhaps put it succinctly, Capricorn helps you develop your own style in speaking, writing, in dealing with those close to you. You brighten life for Capricorn, and in turn, Capricorn persons bring more action into your life. There are short journeys, assignments, special tasks. You begin to organize your thinking, to discard some concepts and to adopt others. Capricorn helps you to be versatile, to adapt yourself to changing conditions. At times, Scorpio, you are too intense, and Capricorn helps you see the lighter side of life. Capricorn helps you to laugh at your own foibles. Capricorn helps you mature because you learn to balance, to see gray areas as well as black and white. By this time, it should be apparent that I think the two signs harmonize. But Scorpio, also realize that your forces could be scattered, that you could feel deceptively light as a result of this association. Overall, you benefit, but you might let important projects slip, and you could lose valuable time, to say nothing of money, if you don't apply lessons of self-discipline. Nothing is perfect, not even an association between Scorpio and Capricorn, but I would encourage such a relationship. With Aquarius, you become aware of security. These people remind you of your obligations. Aquarius touches that part of your chart having to do with real estate, conditions later in life, stability, and property. The combination of Scorpio and Aquarius is good for business, for financial security. Aquarius is wonderful when it comes to making contacts. Scorpio is good at following through, at making something of the contacts made by Aquarius. That's why the two signs combine so well where business ventures are concerned. Home and family affairs often are spotlighted when Scorpio comes into contact with Aquarius. Both signs earn the respect of others and of each other. Thus, Scorpio and Aquarius could bring out the best in each other. But this seems to be mainly reserved for professional endeavors, long-range investments, judgment values. This would be a hard combination to beat over a period of time. There could be upsets, opposition, but Scorpio and Aquarius climb back to ultimately succeed. Knowing this, Scorpio, realize that it is in the long pull over a period of time that you succeed in relation to Aquarius. If you are looking for quick, sensational results, Aquarius is not the person for you. But on the other hand, if you are persistent, patient, determined to achieve a specified goal, then you have found the right individual in Aquarius. And I would say to you, Scorpio, act accordingly. You are likely to be physically attracted to Pisces. With Pisces, you become more adventurous, willing to take a chance on your abilities. Pisces encourages you to speculate with the philosophy, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Pisces touches that part of your solar horoscope related to feelings, emotion, children, love, personal magnetism. Pisces invigorates you, revitalizes you, gets you going, and brings forth your creative abilities. The two signs are well aspected, and if you are seeking change and adventure, Pisces is very good for you. Now listen, Scorpio, you can put forth that extra effort which brings success if Pisces is by your side. Know this and value the relationship. Avoid bullying tactics. Pisces is stronger than you might imagine, and Pisces is capable of retaliating. If you are considerate, if you give of yourself, Pisces responds and the relationship prospers. I would say that these two water signs, Pisces and Scorpio, are admirably suited for each other. There is excitement, attraction, the adventure of sharing knowledge. There is a spark here. There is intuitive intellect. Pisces and Scorpio learn from each other and often seem to exhibit extrasensory perception. That is, Scorpio seems able to perceive what Pisces is thinking, and Pisces very often can discern what Scorpio is contemplating. A very exciting prospect, the uniting of Scorpio and Pisces. I would say to you, Scorpio, go to it.